What up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Gen Podcast. This is your host, Gilbert Sanchez. If you're new here, you can call me G. It's 2023, man, and it's been a journey. I know I say that all the time, but this will be the first podcast episode of 2023. So, shit, if you're still here, man, we grinding. I appreciate you. That's from the fucking bottom of my heart. Like, I really, really do appreciate y'all that are still tuning in, that are still watching this podcast, that are still sharing, liking pictures, all that good stuff, man. In 2021, man, I went on I just mentioned this right now, but I went on a fucking it was like 6-8 months of just a podcast every single week, and then once 2022 hit, got a 95, and then everything just switched up and changed. So going from 6 to 8 months of podcasts every week to maybe 15 total of 2022, it was just it's a different lifestyle, man. Just different things you have to worry about now. So I'm not gonna guarantee anything. I'm not gonna make promises. I'm not gonna say anything I would want to do. I mean, I have goals in my mind, but I'm just gonna keep them to myself and just take it how it is, man. Just take it as life comes, and then I mean, it is what it is at that point. But on this episode, like I said, first podcast episode of the year, and before we get into this podcast episode, I just want to point out, man, this guest, he had hit me up on Instagram before he had sent the email, and that it's just, for me, to you, I appreciate you doing that, man. That's just a level of professionalism, and that just shows the type of you being really eager to get onto different platforms, and you being like, hey, what if I send the email instead of the DM? You know what I mean? Like, and I didn't even, it's crazy. I didn't even see the DM until I saw the email. So I was like, let me check the DMs. And it was in the message request, of course. That's why, main reason why I didn't see it. But to go from DMs to emails, it's a big step, because from here, most of the guests that I have are usually through the Instagram DMs. 2023, man, all emails now, man. I get sidetracked. I get message requests is another one. I get the people sharing, people tagging, like it gets lost in the messages. And with emails, it's a little bit different. You can just keep track. You can you can set reminders. To be honest with you, I didn't know you were able to do that within Gmail. But I appreciate you doing that, man. Miles, bro, what's going on?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I appreciate you coming down.
I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, I know it's been a while. That you first, I think, sent the DM. I think it was last month, and then you sent the email maybe this year, maybe about a week or two ago, and reached out. Obviously, like I always do, just do the research, just peep the music, just peep the profiles, and sometimes when people send DMs requests, or when people want to get onto the platform, it's sometimes they don't have like their link tree, sometimes they don't have the music, sometimes they just have like one picture,
right?
So it's a little bit weird when going into like a podcast, if it even gets that far, for a guest to like, there's really not much to talk about.
Right.
In your case, exact opposite. Saw music videos, saw reels, saw the music, listened to the music.
Right.
But we'll go back first, starting off, because the first thing I want to mention too is you're from Corpus, man. Corpus Christi.
361, baby.
And the only reason why I want to mention that is because I was born there.
Really?
Yeah, I was born there, man.
Man, that's what's up.
I was born there. Parents got divorced when I was 6 years old. Moved over to San Antonio, and then from there, it's just been life ever since. But
okay, yeah,
you're the first person that's ever, for sure. Yeah, first person that's ever been from Corpus Christi, hometown. So
true.
And it's I don't know. Maybe you can test this. Well, actually, before we get into the next part, how long have you been in San Antonio?
So I graduated from high school in Corpus in 2015. Came out here to college. Been out here hustling ever since. Definitely finished up. I graduated, got my degree. Just been out here working ever since. Meeting people, creating, just getting my foot in different doors.
Damn. So for you, it's a little bit different. So you went to high school, graduated high school. So I'm assuming you still have friends and like that. That's part of the, like,
for the most part, cause it's a smaller city. So like friends, associates, people, whatever the case, they're always going to be around. It's a lot of people that's still there, but it's also a few people that I was always locked in with that ended up making the transition to move out of the environment and see what they can do here in San Antonio
Yeah.
or Houston, wherever they decided to take their lives.
Yeah. So for me, it's a little bit different. So I mean, obviously, when you're a kid, 6 years old, you don't really remember shit. And so
Right.
moving to San Antonio, it's just it's the way of life now. Like
Hmm.
I really don't consider sometimes Corpus Christi my hometown, but for you, it might be
Rightfully
different,
so.
right? Because I mean, teenage years are probably the most important years of your life,
Right.
depending on how you look at it.
Hmm.
Because there's a lot of growth during those years. But for me, it's exact opposite. Like I lived here, grew up here. So me going back home or calling my hometown is sometimes a little bit weird. You know what I
Right.
mean? Sometimes a
Yeah.
little bit
Yeah.
weird, but I mean, I still have most of maybe about 90% of my family that lives there. So every now and then I say every now and then, but it's like every once in a while
All right.
I
Hey,
think about
man.
going back, but
Nah, yeah, I can imagine. It's like one of those places where it's cool to call home,
yeah.
but it's not too much opportunity there, at least not yet. I've noticed different strides from people down there trying to make things, a little bit more exciting and have more things to do. But,
Mhm.
to have more opportunity, you kind of do just gotta go find it.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, that's a good topic because going into the music, uh, how long have you been making music? When did you first started making music?
Well, I mean, as a kid, I grew up playing the drums in church. You know what I mean? Mom played the piano, was a singer and stuff. So I've always been interested in music by what I consume from my parents.
Mhm.
But when it comes to like creating, getting on the mic and stuff, when I got into San Antonio, I met people like, oh, you record in your own room? That's what's up. Let me try. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean? And then I was like, oh, I kind of like how I sound. I think it's pretty good compared to other people that I listen to. Kept on doing it. And like in 2020 or 2021, I decided like, let's just try it for real. Like
Mhm.
let's just start saying I'm a rapper. Why not?
Yeah.
And see where it take me. And I'm still on that journey to this day. And I noticed that starting to say you're a rapper, that's like the most minimal thing in your career. You're doing it like independent
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you gotta do everything,
Yeah.
which I'm up for the challenge, you know what I mean? Like I'm up to building my catalog, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So whenever I reach opportunities like when somebody needs to look and see, oh, what have you been doing?
Mhm.
Oh, he been working. So whether I get a few likes or a lot of likes, a lot of views, no views, whatever the case, I'm working.
Yeah, yeah. So the opportunity part, going back to, I guess people who maybe you hung around with, people you that are within the industry. I mean,
Mhm.
what's the main difference that you're seeing between corporate and San Antonio? I guess just as far as the opportunity. Obviously, we know there's a lot more opportunities.
Mhm.
It's a bigger city, a lot more people here. So I mean, a lot more businesses.
Yeah.
But I guess what's the biggest, I mean, transition you've seen between the two cities?
So I'm seeing a lot more people like around my age, or at least the age I'm at now, doing things like on their own terms and stuff. I see like just different avenues when it comes to music in the younger scene, entertainment, you know what I mean? Like nightlife, whatever the case.
Mhm.
It's like really open season for a lot of people to get to it. I started thinking like I said, instead of only being a consumer, I want to try to create like whether it be music, whether it be creating an event, you know, music video to go with my song, whatever the case, I like to create those feelings for other people.
Mm.
The way that I feel like people have done for me and like my friends and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel that. Do you have a core group of friends that you still like kind of
Oh yeah,
more or less
yeah.
hang out with?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely got like my friends that we shuck and drive with. We gonna hang out, have a good time. I can be myself with. I also have another group of friends that it's the same thing, but it's on a music business aspect. You know what I mean? Where I've been blessed enough to find a good circle of friends that we can just like use our resources together to get to our common goal of like letting music be what it is that change our lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's always dope, right? Like having people come up with you, seeing the grind, seeing the process. I mean, not even just the music part, but just life in general. Like, I mean,
Right.
how long have you been friends with? I guess your core group of friends.
Now maybe like 2 years, and like to go ahead and say that my core group of friends from Corpus, like we've
Yeah,
been
yeah.
friends since like middle school,
Okay,
elementary
yeah.
school,
So,
like playing basketball, you know
yeah,
what I mean? That's always gonna be a thing.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but regarding music, like I gotta go ahead and shout out my homies like Jonah Turn Me Up, um, Big Semiauto, my friends from Corpus that have been making music, right? Like Fast Money Devo, Almighty, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've just always been around people that's constantly inspiring me to create as
Mhm.
well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's always like I said, it's always dope, man, because you're seeing the grind, you're seeing the journey, just with life in general, not even what you're passionate about, not what you're actually working towards. So, yeah, man, same thing, man. I've always had a group of friends that we've just we've just been grinding, man. We have our own lives now, so it's a little bit different. Most of them
Mm-hmm.
got kids, so I'm reaching that point where we start to turn 30, and I'm just like, fuck. Sometimes I'm just want to rewind fucking the
Man,
time. But you mentioned calling yourself a rapper, calling yourself making music, or calling yourself an artist. That's like the lower. There's not a lot of really. I don't even know what the word is, but people just look at it as a downgrade from what you could be doing. But they, in my opinion, they really don't know the work ethic that it takes to actually do something that you're really passionate about, that you might be just be pursuing, where
right.
it's pretty comparable to what they're actually doing. Maybe they're like really stuck with the 9 to 5 and they really enjoy that. Like, this pretty much the same thing, right? Like,
It
you're
really
putting
has
some,
to be.
you really,
Maybe even more.
yeah,
Like,
maybe even more, because the amount of time that goes into it, right?
mhm.
Um, so that I guess my question is, I mean, you putting yourself out there, especially on social media, especially, I mean, maybe your family. What was the biggest thing that you seen that kind of just maybe either fucked you up, or just like, damn, I didn't know this was gonna happen?
um, I can't say like that it necessarily fucked me up, but what I will say is that like it's been a process getting used to like having a certain amount of eyes, you know what I mean, on me, or maybe not even certain eyes that I want yet, but regardless, knowing that I'm gonna be gaining attention because you need that for people to, get your product, to hear your product, you know what I mean? So I'm like just trying to put out. All I know is, man, like I need to make it seem as if I'm at the top of the mountains, the top of the hill, screaming out miles per hour, miles ahead of you to the masses, before anybody else does it for me. Like if I don't start that movement, if I don't believe in it the way I do see it, you know what I mean, then who else is going to?
That's a good mindset. Not a lot of people have that. They just kind of rely on other people to do the dirty work, but they don't
Right,
really they really don't know that it starts with you. You know what I mean? Like, it starts with yourself. Like, as if you truly enjoy it, if you truly are in tune with yourself, and you can enjoy what you're actually making, then obviously someone else out there is going to do the same thing.
right.
So
Just feel like you got to
yeah,
do what you can with what you got. Like of
yeah,
course you're gonna always feel like, damn, I'd be doing this if I had this, or I just need this and I could do this. And
yeah,
right, that's of course, but if you continue focusing on that, then what's the solution going to be? Are you ever going to
yeah,
find one for the meantime? You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
Because shit still got to get done.
Yeah, I feel that, man. It's on a whole nother level, especially with this, man. It's like, I'll be lying if I said there wasn't times where I wasn't motivated. I'll be lying if I didn't want to do this sometimes, or if I didn't want to set up, didn't want to edit, like all this other bullshit that comes along with running a podcast. And it's just, it comes with it, man. It comes with it.
Right,
I think you really got to truly enjoy what you're actually doing to actually put some work into it, and from there, it just takes care of itself.
right,
Literally, you just, for me, at least for me, like, you don't actually got to worry about it. It just takes care of itself. Day by day goes by. But um, I want to talk about Milestones. The EP came out last month, correct?
yes,
Yeah.
sir. December 2nd, 2022.
How long? How's the response been for that?
It's been pretty good so far. I feel like people have been enjoying the project. It's pretty consistent, but there's different emotions on it. We recently threw a listening party. Me and my friend Metamain, another artist that I'm real locked in with out of San Antonio, Texas. We had a listening party for Milestones and his recent project Meditation. Had a pretty good turnout. We had some dope vendors there. I had these shirts on deck with the cover art, pretty dope cover art. If you're on my Instagram, Miles Ahead of You, you can check them out.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's been real dope. I just recently dropped a music video for track 4 called "Look Me Up," and once I dropped that, it just seemed like a lot of people have been rocking with, whether it be the video or the song in general. It's just been catching a little bit of a buzz, and that's dope. I just want to continue to try to like build off of that.
Yeah, yeah. How long did it actually take you to do the EP? Because there's a couple songs on it, right? Six, seven,
Six, yeah,
six. Yeah.
six. So it's 6 new songs. One of them I had already pre-released, but I was like, you know what? I'm on that wave already. I have a few of the other songs that kind of fit that vibe, and I feel like just getting this off my chest. So honestly, it wasn't even like a long process in the sense of like, okay, like February, I'm thinking, oh, I'm gonna drop a tape for the year's over, right?
Yeah,
It just
yeah.
kind of
Okay.
was like I just need to continue my process of creating. I have these songs. I want to feel heard, right? And I'm thinking, okay, these kind of go with this one. This one goes with this one. Let's go on an adventure. Once I put these songs in the right order, it seemed like, damn,
Mhm,
that's dope. Not too long, not too short. Let's give this out to see what they like
mhm.
and
So
keep on
something I
going.
noticed about the EP is just the track length.
Mhm.
and I've talked about this before, but I guess I want to hear your opinion on it. Is what's your reasoning behind keeping the track length to 2 minutes, 2 minutes 30 seconds? Because I mean, for me, it was like in my opinion about that is just the attention span within people. Like it's just
Right,
and on top of that, you can actually run it back depending on if you want to listen to it again.
right.
But yeah, what's your opinion on that? What's the process for doing the track lengths that long?
Sometimes it's just kind of like that's it. When I feel like a song is done, I feel like it's just like I've said all I need to say on a song. And like whenever I feel like that, then I feel like that's whenever people's attention span, that's when they've heard all they need to hear too. And like I don't want to say too much on one song whenever I could save that vibe for another one. Like because there's some songs on there, right? Like where I have no verse on there. There's a
Yeah,
song where I have a verse. I mean, not verse. There's no hook on there. There's one where like I only have one verse, you know. Then there's one where I have the hook 3 times and I have 2 verses, right? But I feel like if it makes sense, it makes sense to like just keep on going because I felt it. But at the same time, it's just like, okay, I feel like this was just a moment within the song that's gonna be like cool. Like
hmm
just try to just create this moment right now. It's quick. Like I said everything I need to say. I feel like I said a lot in a short amount of the time too. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Um, like I said, I think it just kind of goes back to that attention span thing. In all honesty, I feel like I don't want to say too much on one song when I can spread that out. But there's songs where I feel like no, they got to feel me on this one.
hmm
Like when that beat just go like that for real, you know.
Which I mean, it doesn't even have to be on the EP, but which one of your songs do you think you had to you had to make it long just because you just was like, fuck, people need to hear this, or
I
people need
got
to
one dropping soon that's gonna be kind of like that. It's no hook, but I'm just spitting
yeah
that real shit. But that's out already. That's kind of been my recipe for a few songs in all honesty, but I do have one called Time Bender that's from You Tell Me, like my first project I ever put out. That was just me really like when I first got into like a better studio, I heard a beat and was like, I just want to rap.
yeah
It was no hook, it was just groovy, just let's just keep going. Let's just okay, I got 4 bars and like just keep on going, let's just keep on punching in. You know, it was a fun time. Like I just created it, you know, it wasn't too much speculation or planning behind it. It's just like let's get in the booth and just let's just go,
yeah.
see what I can do.
Your journey so far, because it's been almost coming up on 3 years more or less, right?
Pretty much, yes, sir.
What's the process been like as far as learning new applications, learning new equipment, learning your style, learning all those other things that comes with being like an artist, a rapper? That I mean, when you make music,
The equipment part is actually what I'm trying to get into this year so I can learn how to like really do all the things myself. But since that's not what I've been focused on so far, I've really just been trying to find my sound and my lane for real. You know, like the life I live, I want to really try to reflect that in my music, like whether it's a little bit more personal, whether it's from the past, whether it's current, whatever the case. I just feel like I'm pretty good with my words. And I try to like make that into something that's enjoyable and like smooth for people to listen to. But like I said, in that, learning just about like my tone, learning about how to record, how to make it
yeah,
sound full, you know, stuff like that. How to work with different producers, which I'm really locked in with a few. But just knowing what beats I like, which ones to keep it to. But when you talk about learning stuff as a music artist, quote unquote rap artist, it's
yeah,
really not even so much about the music because that's what comes natural, right?
yeah. That's true.
The stuff you have to learn about is that professionalism, like when people reach out to you in DMs or how you reach out to other people in DMs and like, you know, timeliness or whatever the case, just like communication, you know, like you said at the beginning of the interview, like I DM'd you, right? And I'm knowing that like it's probably hundreds of people that DM you about trying to get on whatever, whatever. So let me try to think what's gonna make it different.
Yeah,
Let me go ahead and email because I know for me, of course, what's going on now is all these bots and stuff. It's different Instagram pages trying to get me to pay this and that to
yeah,
join their whatever. And I'm like, whatever.
yeah,
So I can imagine what your DMs look like, you know what I'm saying? But whenever somebody reaches out to me about business in the email, I know it's for real. You
yeah.
know what I mean? It's no BS. Or like pick up the phone and call me, or it's just a general message like, hey, if you can call me at this number, or
Mhm.
email me at this number, you know, just professionalism. And honestly, that also brings me to the other conversation of the 9 to 5 stuff, right? Because I'm in the middle of my 9 to 5, considering if I want to transition out of it or not too, or whatever. And although it can be stressful, it can be a lot, there is stuff that I learned about from that, you know, lifestyle that
Yeah,
translates to the artistry that I feel like puts me ahead of other artists, right? Because people just feel kind of I don't know if they feel entitled or if they feel like, because I'm talented and people should just fuck with me, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but I just feel like there's a lot more to it, like dropping your pride and reaching out to different artists, trying to collab or showing love, you know what I mean? Or reaching out to producers, reaching out to different platforms and just trying to connect, you know what I mean? Just learn, not even just to connect to like, not even to connect to like get on and show your face somewhere, but like to really just learn about their craft and where they're at and use that for perspective on your own journey. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about.
Yeah, you hit on a ton of good points. The first thing is just the connecting part, right? Like the networking part. Like you just don't know who knows who or who knows what, and from there it's a domino effect, right? Like,
Hmm.
I mean, from here, I mean, there can just be so much more opportunities. Whether if it's another podcast, another interview, another lane that you can go down, and that's just mainly what I'm about too, man. Like putting
Hmm.
people that are working that I can see put work into with their fucking craft, and it's just me having people on this guest or having guests on this platform. I've seen it happen before. So I mean, you're doing the right thing, bro. Like you have the
I
right
appreciate
mindset.
that, man.
Yeah, you have the right lane that you're going through, and it's like man, not a lot of people have that, bro. Not a lot of people do that. Not a lot of people fucking they just expect things to come quick, fast,
Hmm.
and without doing the work, and it's unfortunate sometimes.
Right.
It's very unfortunate, but going into the process as far as your music, you mentioned playing the drums when you were younger. Other than church, playing drums, music, you mentioned your parents too. What other influences you had, either growing up, either now that kind of just pushes you towards the music?
Um, Man, like I said, of course, like I said, church, of course, my parents, the music they played. I played a lot of basketball growing up, so that's a whole nother culture, of course, like in Texas, South Texas, whatever. I feel like anybody in anywhere when it comes to sports, especially basketball, it's a certain culture that come with it.
Yeah,
Like all your boys playing basketball. Somebody got the speaker or the boom box playing music, like the hottest tape or
yeah,
the best radio station. You know what I mean? And you always got that thought in the back of your mind, like, dang, like, what if that was one of us? You know what I mean? Like that was creating the vibe for the time. Cause music really is like what's the word for it? It's like a soundtrack to life for me. Like you can really play a song to reflect any moment in time. And that's what's funny to me about like today is because a lot of people don't digest music that way. They really see it as like, this is how this person feels all the time. And
yeah,
this
yeah,
like you're supposed to be like this. I heard your song. Like they just felt like that and they went in the booth and recorded it. They probably felt better after, like, and don't even feel like that anymore. But people just, I don't know, people just kind of do that with music these days. But anyways, like I was saying, like influences, it comes from like different experiences. I've just like had hurt, I've had pain in life. I've also had a lot of happiness, a lot of joy. I've been around a lot of different people, experienced a lot. Women, of course, friendships, lots of friendships, whatever the case. I just feel like I'm really observant, being like that I was the only child. I really like soak in life a lot. And I just kind of want to reflect that through my own lens and help people dance to it or whatever.
yeah, yeah. No, that's
You
dope,
feel
man.
me?
Because you mentioned people expecting you to act a certain way based off your music, and
Mhm.
that's something that I just like to bring out on this platform is people are human beings, man. Like they got feelings, they got shit happens to them,
Right.
like you just like everybody else. So coming from this side, yeah, the music, yeah, you're doing your craft, but I always like to touch on what's outside of that. Like I just
Mhm.
mentioned the influences. Like you just gave me a background of what just happened, how you even got to that point. That's what that's what I like to find out because that's truly you truly figure out like, hey, this is how it came to be. Like that's
Right.
and like I said, like you said, most people don't even kind of think about that, but it's different for me, man. Like it's just there's so much curiosity that comes with knowing how people got to a certain point, especially if you're putting in the work. Like that's all that just really comes down to.
Right.
If you put in the work, if you're doing it the right way, then obviously you're gonna get to a certain point where it's just like either wow I'm here or either wow I
I'll
need to
be there
keep
soon.
yeah I'll be there. See either yeah exactly. So
Mhm.
I mean it comes hand in hand, bro. It comes fucking hand in hand. Other than you mentioned music in the future, another EP, singles? I mean, what do you like? What do you mostly like to drop? What do you kind of feeling in the future?
I do like little projects, but as of right now, I'm still pushing Milestones, which is out now on all platforms. Got the videos on YouTube, and I got a few more visuals on the way for that tape. But I do have songs that are in the tuck and are ready to be heard by more ears. It's just got to be executed right. I want to make sure Milestones gets the time that it needs. Of course, it's going to be there forever, but I want to really give it the time to like focus and push it as hard as I can. Like it's one person, you know what I mean? Like I'm completely independent, so
Yeah.
I want to really give it time. Like you never know if in February or March if that's going to be the first time somebody hears about Milestones by MilesPerHour. So I want to keep pushing it as hard as I can, but simultaneously releasing other songs because that can also be traction to that project. Now, whenever I gain some more attention, some more traction, then I think I'll probably be ready to release another full length project, probably even more songs. But until then, I don't think I won't be doing no like 10, 12 track albums. Like I think I'm stuck within like the little 3 to 8 track projects right now. I feel like that's fair until like I really earn the ears and attention to give those people, you know, that album, which I feel like is coming soon. Like I said, it's a lot of songs in the tuck, but I'll share them one by one. But for the project, I let it out a little bit more.
Do you think is you can do that like right now if you wanted to?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, yeah, I
Push
could
it to
definitely.
10, 12 songs?
Mhm. I could do that. It's just that, like I said, being that I'm by myself
Yeah.
in the marketing, the
Yeah.
independent pushing stuff. Like if I was to drop a 12 song album right now, right? I'm just trying to think logically when it comes to financials, whatever the case. I'm being transparent, right? Like for anybody else that's independent artists want to see how it's working for me at least. Like I can't speak for anybody else, but
Yeah.
if I'm gonna want to drop a 10, 12 song project, I mean I really fuck with all 12 of those songs and I want everybody to like every single one.
Mhm.
So that means I would want to push every single one like as hard as I possibly can. Now, in order to realistically do that, the way I want it to be done, I don't know if I'm in the space to do that just yet. Now, like I said, with 5, 6 songs, I feel like it's attainable over a certain amount of time, right? Like I can get a visual done, the reels, the content, some pictures to go with it, with the woo, like, and not only the money part, but like the mental capacity for it, right? Like, what if people like this one more than this one with the case, with the woo? Regardless, I'm just creating, right? And I want to focus on that, like creating to a standard that I like, whether it's like the quality, the amount of songs where I feel satisfied. That's what I push out. And whenever I feel like I put it out, it's really like a relief before even anybody tells me about it. Cause it's like, okay, it's out there.
Mhm.
I'm hoping somebody tells me they like it. I hope somebody tells me they don't like it, right? Learn from that, woo woo, keep going to the next one.
Yeah. You mentioned the social media part. How's that been for you? Like learning, like when you become an artist or when you become someone that's pushing a craft. Obviously, you want to put it on social media to get more eyes. Figuring out times, figuring out
Mhm.
how to post things, figuring out TikToks, figuring out just different platforms. How's that process been for you?
I could kind of say that I've kind of always had like a bit of a personality, like when first Vine and Snapchat and stuff came out, I played around with it. But I gotta give a lot of credit to my wife, to be honest, Tally Dilbert. She's a content creator. She's really locked in on that stuff. She's also a social media coach for like some big brands. So she helps me a lot with like, strategy of like, oh, post a picture like this
Yeah.
or like post around this time or Instagram is really liking this, and that right now. She's just really tapped in, and I appreciate, the words of wisdom from her on that aspect. So that's why I say, like, I just find myself in situations where I have a lot of the stuff that I need right there to my disposal, whether it's like friends, my wife, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like the equipment, like it's just right there. And it's like, am I just gonna sit around and act like I'm not here, like I can't do this? It's like, let me just really try to push it and see where it goes.
Yeah, that's always good, right? Like knowing somebody that is tapped in and it does know the certain strategies that to just get more attention, more eyeballs to your content, to the visuals, to whatever you're trying to push out. It's always dope, man. And it gets frustrating sometimes when you on the opposite when you don't have that.
Right.
But I mean, it pushes you to figure that out. You know what I mean? Like if you didn't have um anybody on your side to know that type of knowledge that she gives you,
Mhm.
I mean, I'm sure you can find it out even if it wasn't there. You know what I mean? I'm
Exactly.
I'm sure you would have that mindset to put in the work to figure out like, hey, this is the stuff I need to do to figure out what to post on social media or whatever angle you want to hit. And then, I mean, there it is, right?
Yeah, I think that it really comes down to what you said, that mindset. Because like, regardless of whatever it is that you're lacking, you just don't have it yet,
Yeah.
or maybe you haven't just been blessed with it yet, and you just, like we said, like need to figure out what to do with what you got, and that just kind of comes back to how bad it is that you want what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How people say, "Oh, I'm gonna die about this," or like whenever you say you got me fucked up, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, what do you really mean by that? Like,
Yeah.
are you gonna get this done even though you don't have X, Y, and Z? You only got the X. Like, you still gonna try to figure out whatever it is, like to get what you want. You know, whether it's with your relationship, with your job, with your career, music career, whatever the case. Like working out, your health goals. Like, you know what you have to do to change it. Like, you know it is what you have to do. So it's either you're gonna do it or you're not.
Yeah, it's just simple, right? Just no, yes. Like,
Yeah,
what,
and
what,
it's
what are
like
you
you
gonna
could
do?
say simple, like
Yeah,
it's not simple, like whatever the case
yeah,
it is, right? Like it's just like shit either gonna get done or it's not the way I see it. Like, and I hate, like sometimes it sounds like insensitive to certain people whenever I speak on it like that, and maybe it's just because of the stuff that I've seen and went through or seen my close people go through, whatever. But like, I don't know, that's just truly what I believe. Like, it can always be worse, and if you have the blessing to have a desire for something, that desire's in your heart for a reason, then you stop at nothing to get it.
that's wise words, bro. A lot better than what I could have said.
I'm, s-
um,
Amen.
Coming for 2023, man. Any type of goals that you have? Any type of? I mean, obviously, you want to. You just mentioned the milestones EP. You want to keep traction on that, but I mean, it's kind of hard to tell the future, right? But I'm sure there's goals in your head that you kind of set for the new year. But what type of goals do you have for the rest of the year, man?
Yeah, man. You said it though. Like it's hard for me to look in the future too far. Of course, I want to stay prepared,
Yeah,
but generally, I just want to stay in people's face as much as possible.
yeah,
You know, like whenever you think of not just San Antonio rap, not just Corpus rap, like South Texas music, I want people to think about me and the homies and what we're trying to build here. You know, and like I'm just hoping that we do get to that point that we're thinking. And that's the thing. I don't even want to think about one point because when we get there, it's going to be like, okay, now what? Like, I just always want to continue
yeah,
elevating. I just want to
yeah,
make sure tomorrow I'm better than where I was today.
yeah,
That's the main thing.
yeah, yeah. I feel that. Any have you done shows recently? Last year, year before that? Other
Um,
than I guess the listening party.
so before that, I did a show. I've done like a few shows with Loud City Society.
Okay,
That's a
okay,
group out here that puts on a few events. But other than that, not too much. Just because like the situation really got to be right, man. Like that's really a big reason why we decided to throw our own event, because like I get it with certain situations like events and concerts, like people got to make their bread back and things like that. But whenever you see yourself in a certain lane, it's like it's stuff that you're just not gonna do anymore, respectfully. You know,
yeah,
so it's like we just was like, fuck it, we gonna do this shit ourselves. If we gotta put bread up, that's what we gotta do. But if I gotta put bread up, then it's gonna be my shit.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, I want people to genuinely be there for me. You know what I mean? I don't want to be like that annoying dude. I don't want to say annoying, like the one that nobody was there to see. You know what
yeah,
I
yeah. I
mean?
feel you.
I just
Yeah,
want to create. I want to create a space where like people come to genuinely support me and not feel like it's a middleman or something like that. Which I know that's necessary. I know it is, right? But if I have the power to do it on my own, that's probably what I'm gonna do 9 times out of 10. But I am open to like working with other people, like doing shows, music, whatever the case. I insist on it. You know what I'm saying? I just want it to be genuine. Like I really do. Like this situation right now, I'm rocking with it for sure. Like even though like you got back to me when you could, you know what I'm saying? We made it happen as soon as possible. Like as soon as you hit me on
yeah,
emails, like, oh, bet we good. Like
yeah, yeah. Of course, man.
just
The doing it yourself part, man. How is that? How's that process for you? Because some people, I mean, we touched on it multiple times. Some people just don't have that drive to actually just figure it out. What I mean, where does that even come from? I mean, who's kind of taught you like, hey, you should do it this way, or does that just even come from yourself?
Um, I definitely gotta, like give a lot of that hustle part to my parents, but of course, there's only certain things that they knew that I've learned from different people along my own journey. Once again, my wife, like she's a hustler. My homies, like that I'm around, like they hustlers. They making stuff. Like that's the thing that I'm my cousin, like it's a few people I'm around that's just like made it like their creativity, like the stuff that you grow up enjoying, growing up and making that be what can pay the bills. You know what I mean? That's what you spend your time doing. I feel
Yeah.
like that's just what it's all about, really. Not just getting stuck in like, oh, I just got to pay the bills. I got to do this to pay the bills. And it's like, I get it. You know, we got to do what we got to do as adults, but it's like, I want to try to get to a point where, like you said, this is what I want to get to. This is what I want to say, right? The amount of work that I do and put in for my 9 to 5, if I did that for my own craft, ain't no telling where I'd be. You know what I mean? And that's where I'm trying to like get to. Like, I just feel like if I put that into my own craft of whether it be music, creating, helping other people with their music careers, like development, music artist development, whatever the case, whatever it ends up being, I want to like really invest my time into that, into like my health, into my relationships, rather than, you know, getting too stuck up into like the other, like the matrix or whatever. You know what I'm
No, I
saying?
feel you. The only thing issue I have, well, not issue, but the only thing that, like, from coming from me personally, like that, the 9 to 5 work ethic, like putting in most of your energy towards that, you gotta like balance it out. You know what I mean?
Man,
Like, finding the balance is the hardest thing for me. Like, oh man,
you know what
I
my
wish.
job is?
No, yeah, I was gonna ask you too earlier in the episode, but I didn't want to go too far to it. But go ahead, bro.
I'm a teacher.
Oh, okay, that's dope.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So like,
Okay, that even brings me more in tune with the conversation, is that that's a lot of mental capacity, bro.
man,
Like, I wouldn't even know where to begin to even figure out any of that, but I can just I'm sure you can attest, bro. It's just the mental capacity is so much, especially worrying about, there's so much shit I'm sure you got to worry about, bro, when it comes to that shit. And to put the amount of effort that you do towards the music, I'm sure is pretty fucking crazy, bro.
yeah, man. So it's like, that is a lot. It's definitely a lot. Now, I can't lie, it is like the highest compensation I've ever received. But, and also not only that, but like compared to what I was doing before, like it's just morally, it is dope being able to be there and influence a whole bunch of kids. And honestly, like they know what's up with me. Like they've seen my music before. I just tell them to
Yeah.
just, you know, keep them.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, still, like just being able to like really positively influence their lives. You know what I mean? Like that really means a lot to me. But realistically, I can't say that it's what I always grew up wanting to do or what I want to do
Yeah.
with the rest of my life. Like, and I just want to give myself the chance to put as much work as I do in there, you know, all day, every day into myself and influencing kids like that everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just feel like it's bigger blessings that can be done through this. And yeah, man.
Yeah, yeah. What grade do you teach, man?
7th grade science.
Damn, bro. That's like the worst grades. It's like, I mean, not the worst grade, but it's like the transition
Hey, that's
period,
a
bro.
word. That's a word.
Yeah, yeah, it's just the transition period, bro.
Nah,
Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
I just remember 7th grade, like from 6th grade to like 8th grade. Obviously, high school was a little bit worse, but just the shit that I was transitioning, puberty, all types of
That's
bullshit.
what made me think whenever you said you moved at like, was it 6 years old, 6th grade?
It was 6 years old. Yeah.
Either way, like just adolescence, you know, around that
Yeah.
age, but for sure around that 6th, 7th, 8th grade mark, like they, like in a year,
Yeah.
it's like, wow. And like me, like I said, not having any siblings or whatever, like seeing like the growth in 1 year is just crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Everything changes, bro.
And like everything that they consume, like really
Yeah.
is going to have like an effect on them forever. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's why it's dope.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
dope to be a part of that.
Shit, bro. Well, that's dope, man. That's dope. I agree with you 100%, man. There's the influences that you're giving these kids, or even outside, just life in general. Kids on the outside of the lane. It's huge, man. Like, I'm sure they'll remember this class for the rest of their lives.
Oh, no,
I mean, I know
yeah.
I do. Like, I remember some of the shit that, like, I remember teachers' names, and it's just a part of life, man. Just a part
Hell
of
yeah.
fucking life. But shit, man. Anything you wanna mention? Anything you wanna talk about before we get up out of here, man?
Man, once again, I just want to say, for one, you go by G, which is really dope.
Appreciate it, bro.
My dad went by G, and I lost him in 2018. I lost him in 2018, right? And like I said, he went by G. So whenever I saw that you go by G too, I was like, this is just like, it's only right. It's my first interview, first time, you know, getting to sit down and talk about stuff, right? So I really appreciate you opening up your platform for me, you know. Like I said, keeping it professional and like just being genuine about like, you know, wanting me here. Like I really appreciate that, because I know like me not being from out here, I don't know if that's, you know, a turn off or and I don't know what it is, but I just kind of feel like I'm still trying to find my way in the San Antonio scene, in all honesty, whether it's with music or just in general. So I appreciate this. In all honesty, like you just opened up your platform, man.
Yeah, of course, man.
I do have a suggestion though.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
My guy Jonah turned me up. You got to get him on here, man.
We'll link, bro. I know you sent me I know you sent me your number and email,
Hey,
bro.
yeah.
So yeah,
We'll
I'll
tap
shoot
him
you.
in.
Yeah, I'll shoot you a
That's
text.
a cool dude. Like I said, I wouldn't probably be here if it wasn't for bro. I just had to speak on that. Like he's really dope when it comes to the beats, setting up musical plays. Just has a good ear. DJ, like just real tapped in. Yeah, that's my bro. So
Yeah. Of course, man. Of course. Shit. Where can people find you? Website, Instagram handles, TikTok, whatever you want to mention, man.
So on Instagram, I go by MilesAheadOfU. That's MILES, no spaces. The letter U. On Twitter, same thing, MilesAheadOfU, 2 underscores at the end. And then everywhere on your streaming platforms, man, MilesPerHour. You can look me up at MilesPerHour or MilesAheadOfU on Google, YouTube, all that. You're gonna see me pop up, and I'm sure we'll put it on here as well.
Yeah, of course. One thing I want to mention too, and I was telling her on the ride over here, is just the sync process that you have with your name and then your like your artist name. Like your name obviously is Miles, right? But you got Milestones, you got Miles per Hour, Miles Ahead of You, and I'm just like, that's first of all, that's something I've never actually seen before. I'm sure it's out there, but I mean, coming from me to see that, that's just how in tune, bro. Like that's really dope.
Man,
bro.
I appreciate you paying attention to that.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people like have their names or whatever that their mama gave them, and they feel like, nah, I'm gonna go with something else. But I feel like my name, like I don't know too many people named Miles. You know what I mean? So I was like, at first I used to call myself like Miles per Hour or whatever, and people would kind of like chuckle at it, like that's cool.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. No, Miles per Hour. Who else? Right? That's me. So now it's respect coming behind it though. MPH, however you want to do it, Miles per Hour. And then Miles Ahead of You just kind of came from like, that's not necessarily being my artist name, but I want to build that as more sort of a brand, right? So like, I want Miles Ahead of You to be behind different performances, like maybe a studio one day, a clothing brand. Like Miles Ahead of You just kind of stands for like, when you look in the mirror, really, you know what I mean? Like, I'm better than I was yesterday, right? It can also be a competition thing if you want it to be. Like, realistically, I see myself at the top of this, you know what I mean? As I should though, right? As you should feel like you're the best podcaster in the area. I should feel like I'm the, you know what I mean? Whatever the case, that's just how you should feel, right? So, but regardless of how you want to look at it, that's why one of my first projects is You Tell Me, because I'm really an open space. Like I'm a mirror. I want you to be able to like listen to my music. I want you to be able to have a conversation with me or just look at my Instagram, whatever the case. You come across with me, I want you to feel comfortable in your own skin, knowing like you're on your own journey, I'm on mine, and we doing our shit. You know what I mean? We're at where we're at, but we further than we were yesterday or last week, and we got more ways to go, regardless of where we at. You know what I mean? It's just it's an ongoing journey. Like Nip said, it's a marathon. So
yeah, I feel that, bro. 100%, man. You said it best. You said it best, man. The fucking that's a dope brand, and like I said, I applaud you on coming up with that and sticking to your true name and actually putting forth that, because some people have their stage names and it's like totally opposite of their fucking real name.
Which is cool, you know, which is cool. I just was like, I can't make this up. This is my name. Miles is my name. Yeah. You know, shout out my mama.
Yeah, of course. Shit. I appreciate you stopping by, bro. This is man, hopefully everything that you have coming towards you is nothing but blessings.
And likewise.
Yeah, but I mean, he mentioned the names. He mentioned the where to find his music. And do him a favor, listen to the music. Listen to Milestones EP, dropped last month. And yeah, man, we'll fucking see y'all next time, people. Peace.